Hey guys, this video is going to be interesting because in this video you are going to learn about the Searchsploit tool, and you are going to use this as the real ethical hackers, not just a beginners, unskilled hackers, or just a script kiddie. So we are going to learn more about the Searchsploit tool, and at the end of this video you are going to automate the process of finding vulnerabilities using this tool, and that's the most interesting part and my favorite part, and that's what you have to watch this video till the end to get it experienced of this tool to make your journey better than before. So let's begin with the tool, with the help menu, and you will be able to see a lot of options here, but we are going to focus on the important options first. Okay, let's start with the basic things. Like, people use Searchsploit to find vulnerabilities like VSF TPD 2.3.4. Like in no in normal way, what people do is searching for vulnerabilities using Searchsploit is like this, like entering Searchsploit and the version that they found during an nmap scan or any other scan, and that's pretty much people will do. And they were able to get backdoor command execution like this, and they were able to get some informations, and basically they use this, and from this information this vulnerability will be available in this metasploit, and people will use a metasploit tool to exploit this vulnerability. And this is how basically the beginners or script kiddies use this tool, but this is not the real way of using this tool, and this is not how the ethical hackers, the real hackers, will use this Searchsploit tool. So basically we can start from the basic. It's basically a exploit database offline archive. So you can visit the website exploitdb, and you will be able to see the exploit database, where you will be able to see the exploits available. From here you can see as of now 2025 1031, and there will be a remote code execution vulnerability for this flowwise 3.0.4, and a lot of informations about the vulnerabilities and exploit codes will be available there. From here you can see the Searchsploit manual. This is basically the offline version of exploit database, and you can just pretty much use this tool, and which is really great. So let's begin using this tool. Like, this is how people will use this basically, but other than this, how we can use this tool. For example, you can see here in this normal search, we can see there will be two options like backdoor command execution. Both of them will be backdoor command execution. One has a bracket of metasploit, and that is pretty much saying that you can just exploit this vulnerability using metasploit, and one does not have any brackets, and that means you can just pretty much use Searchsploit to exploit, to get the exploit code and exploit this vulnerability. So basically you can just check the path here. You can see it's under Unix remote 49757.py, and it will be Unix remote 17 and 17491.rb, which is the Ruby language, which will be a metasploit language. So for this vulnerability you can just pretty much exploit it using the metasploit tool. But for this demonstration, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this metasploit, but because you already know about how you can just exploit it using metasploit by launching MSF console and searching for this vulnerability, and you will be able to exploit it. But the real deal here is minus m command. So minus m will mirror, like you can just pretty much read this. It's basically mirror. You can use minus m or minus mirror, so which will copy as an exploit to the current working directory. So I'm just giving the number, which here you can just give the path. Like at the end you will be able to get the number. You can just paste the number only, or you can also paste the entire content, including pi or this number only, which will pretty much give you the a copy here. So first let me remove all the useless files available in my current working directory. So yeah, now I just removed some of the useless files in my current working directory. Now what I'm going to do is using this tool to get the code of this particular vulnerability by entering -m, the module name, and as you can see, it is saying that could not find. That basically, you just don't need to specify VSFTPD something like this. You can just specify -m only, and as you can see, it will be automatic already written here, and this is how it looks like. So first, let me clear that and clarify that I'm just removing this one and 2.c and new and winrar.exe, all the files in my directory. Now I'm just using the Searchsploit -m and this ID number only, and I was able to copy the exploit to my current working directory. Now, and when I enter ls, I was able to see this was copied to home Kali 49757.py. So basically, this is its ID number, and it will be unique for each exploit available here. So basically, what you can do with this Python script, you can just cat or use tools like Nano or use tools like Mousepad, and you can just view this code, this Python code, without going and visiting to the exploit database with an internet connection. You can just pretty much use this Searchsploit tool to get this code, right? So now what we can do is, like before, we will use Metasploit to exploit this vulnerability, but using this Python code, you can just exploit this vulnerability. Let me do that. And first of all, I'm just using Python 3 and this with -h for help menu, and unfortunately I could not find any help menu, so I'm just trying to use Python 2, and I just get the help menu, and it is saying that host, input the address of the vulnerable host. So here in this demonstration, I'm just targeting my Metasploitable 2. So I'm just um, getting the IP of Metasploitable 2. So I just get the IP of Metasploitable 2, which will be the MAC address starting with 08. So anyways, I'm just pasting this, and I just get an error, so I'm just pasting it again, and as you can see, it's success, shell opens. Now what I can do is enter ls to get the contents, and this is how pretty much exploit using this Python code, right? So this is basically how you can expand your knowledge of using Searchsploit tool, not only using Metasploit to exploit the vulnerabilities, but also you can download the code and exploit it by your terminal itself, and that's pretty much good, right? So we are moving deeper into this tool. So yeah, let's look on to the Searchsploit tool again in the help menu. What are the other things that we can do here? So you will be able to see an -u option, which is basically used to update the Searchsploit tool. Basically, as you can see in the exploits available here, the latest exploits as of 2025 1031, there will be flaw-wise 3.0.4. Let's try to search for this vulnerability if it is available here or not using the Searchsploit tool. Yes, it's available, right? So if you can update this, if I'm just trying to disable my Wi-Fi connection. Now I'm just trying to search. Yeah, I'm able to get that. So yeah, I'm just enabling my Wi-Fi connection. In some scenarios, you will not able to get some informations. In that case, you have to update the Searchsploit tool. You can just pretty much update your tool like -u by specifying here and entering your password, which will pretty much update your Searchsploit tool. And this is how you basically update the Searchsploit tool to get it done, to get it work properly. Okay, so it's good to update the Searchsploit tool. Okay, this is something that you need to keep in mind before you dive into using this tool. Okay, so let's move on. So the next option that I'm going to do is the -w option. So for example, I'm just currently stopping this update because this is not necessarily needed right now. So I'm just stopping this completely. Now what I'm going to do is searching for vulnerabilities like Eternal Blue, and what I'm going to do is using -w, which will give you the links, as you can see. So in the previous scenario, what you were able to get without using the -w, you will be able to get the path, right? Instead of the path, we were able to get the URL to the exploit database website. So that's why you use -w, which will give you the websites for getting this vulnerable code, and you will be able to download directly from the official website of exploit database. And this is how you use the minus W option here. And you can also use the minus verbose or minus V for enabling the verbose. You can also use minus minus disable color, which will pretty much disable the color. As you can see, when I search for it, the eternal blue, you'll be able to see the content will be in red color, so that I'll be able to understand it more properly, right? So when I use minus minus disable color here, I was not able to see the colors. If some people doesn't like the colors, then you can pretty much disable it from here itself, and that's pretty much good, right? So yeah, it's not for everyone. I personally like the colors, but what about you? Let me know in the comment section. So anyways, let's move on with some other options. Like for example, if I get a vulnerability, like if I get a CVE number, and I can just pretty much use Searchsploit minus minus CVE, the CVE number that I get, to get the a specific vulnerability based on the CVE. You can use Searchsploit tool to get the vulnerable code using this CVE number. Like this, you can just enter Searchsploit minus minus CVE and your CVE number. It will give you if there is a vulnerability on that particular CVE, which will be available in the exploit database. And this is how you pretty much get these informations. Okay, so yeah, let's move on with some other options that we can use. Okay, so yeah, now I'm just going to give you minus J for JSON format. What this basically do is like it will output the content. Like I'm just searching for VSFTPD, and it will show the contents in JSON format. In some scenarios, you will need something in the JSON format. Then you can use the minus J for getting things in the JSON format itself. Some people sometimes needed the JSON format, and it will give you some more informations from what you will be able to get from the normal output. Okay, so let's try to use the minus O for overflow mode. Normally, what if you search for a version, you will be able to see something like this, and you can see this will be properly written, right? Exploit title and the path, which will be clearly visible, and you will be able to understand easily, right? So in some scenarios, if you don't want that, then you can use overflow mode, which you can enable by entering minus O, so which will basically disable, let me show you that. I'm just using Searchsploit minus O VSFTPD. I think unfortunately it will be not working. Let me try to use minus minus overflow. And this is what this basically do is it will allow overflow, right? Let me search for eternal blue. Now we can see it's like overflowed, right? So when we doesn't use the overflow command, then what you will be able to see is it will be in the proper manner with these symbols, right? But if you use overflow, then you will be able to see the contents like this, which seems to be not able to understand the concepts properly, right? So you can also use overflow mode if somebody likes to use it because they don't want others to understand what is in the screen in some scenarios. So okay, so yeah, let's move on with the path, which will show the full path to an exploit. Okay, so it will basically show the full path to an exploit. There will be an example here. You can just pretty much give the example ID, like this is an ID number, right? So like that, you can just give an path, and it will give you the exact path, right? So this is where it locates. So I am just copying another path from here, and I'm just specifying that path without the extension, and I was able to get the path, URL, exploit, verified, or and the CVE, etc. informations using the minus P option, which is great, which is really good, right? So yeah, let's try to use some of the other options from this help menu. And you can also use the minus C for case sensitive search if you default is insensitive. So yeah, you can just use minus C, and you can just search for VSFTP D, it will give you this. But what if you give you capital D here, then you don't get the results. So yeah, you just need to get the results as case sensitive. If you want case sensitive contents, then you can use minus C, it will give you the case sensitive contents. If you want exact and order match of an exploit, you can use minus E. Yeah, like that you can use rest of the options. But I am just moving to the most interesting and my favorite part. Okay, that's the automation part. So here what I'm going to do is just performing an nmap scan using minus sv on my target ip, and this is my target ip, and I'm just outputting in that into xml format into a file called file.xml and pressing enter. So what this basically do is it will scan the target for target metasploitable 2, and it will also enumerate the version informations, and it will output this into a file called file.xml. And as you can see, it is outputted this to a file.xml file, and this is how it looks like. So the best part that I'm going to do here is to use Searchsploit for the automation, and that's a pretty interesting part that I also like to use. Like I'm just specifying Searchsploit minus minus nmap and the file.xml that we basically scanned the target using nmap with the service version and outputted to XML format, and that's it. Now the magic automation part begins to get all the vulnerabilities. Like when you scan a single target using the metasploit, using the nmap, basically what you get, right? So you don't get much more informations. Like when you scan this using the service version only, you'll be able to get some limited informations. If you use nicto also, you won't get more informations. But here it's basically my favorite part, and it's amazing, right? So it will give you all the types of vulnerabilities that is available in the target, and that is also available in our metasploitable and in the exploit database, which is so great. You'll be able to see a tons of vulnerabilities in my target using the Searchsploit nmap automation facility, which is amazing. And you'll be able to see there's a lot of vulnerabilities on our target, and you'll be able to enumerate that so simply using just an nmap scan and inputting this into the Searchsploit tool. And this automation makes the thing so faster, much easier, so crazier, and this is so great. And you'll be able to see the one that we get before, and which will be a backdoor command execution. There will be remote denial of service and many other types of vulnerabilities that is available on this target, which we will be able to enumerate using the Searchsploit automation facility that I demonstrated now. And this is really interesting, and this is really super cool to use. Let me use one of them. Like as you can see here, you can see Unreal IRCD, which is a backdoor command execution which will be available in the metasploit. Then how you can basically use this, like it will be available in the metasploit. You can just launch the msf console, and you can just use the -x for module, and you can also search for the Unreal and this version, and it will work like crazy great. So yeah, it will basically launch the metasploit framework console, and it will search for this version, and this is how it looks like. So we do have this module available. I'm just using that using the use command, and I'm just using the options command to set the r host, which is the target host. And let me copy my target ip, and I'm just setting my target host, and I'm just pretty much running this tool, and it's filed, and it's saying that payload not selected. So I'm just saying show payloads. I'm just setting the payload to 6, which seems to be pretty good here, and I'm just running this because this seems to be a great payload for this. And I'm just setting the L host. For that, I just need to get my IP. So I'm just issuing the ifconfig command, and I just get my IP, and I'm just setting my L host, and here it is, and I'm just executing the run command, and boom guys, it's so crazy. So I get access using Unreal IRCD vulnerability. So now we can see command shell open, and we were able to get the contents inside the Metasploit framework console, right? So this is so great, right? You'll be able to find a lot of vulnerabilities and a lot of things that is available inside the so exploit database using this automation, which seems to be pretty good. Not only remote code execution, but also a lot of tons of vulnerabilities you will be able to enumerate using this automation process, and which is so great, right? So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and as you can see, buffer overflow vulnerability and a lot more vulnerabilities are there. You can just copy it into your own current directory, and you can just view this, you can just read the contents, and you can just exploit it using the technique that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Like that, you can just use this seamlessly great. So this is how basically ethical hackers properly use this tool, and this is so great. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and thank you for watching. I hope I was able to deliver you some interesting contents, and thank you. Your support will help me to create more videos. So make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you. I will see you in the next one.